Hello humans, and welcome back to another episode of RD2H Road to Happiness. If you're new here, this podcast is for the builders, for the dreamers, for the risk takers, for the people who are willing to walk into complete uncertainty of nothing but conviction and faith to follow the dreams that they want, even when everybody else thinks they're fucking crazy. So if that's you and you've been in the process of building your dream reality, welcome to RD2H Road to Happiness. In the last year, I've moved to Los Angeles solo by myself at 23 years old. I have started a commission-only brokerage field. I record the podcast to document what it looks like when you're actually building and the phases that you have to go through. I've taken up adventures such as hiking, surfing, mountain climbing, and horseback riding, random side quests, and I'm officially hitting the stage where my friends who love me, they support me, they know if anybody can do it, it's fucking me, are calling me saying, Nat, dude, it's been a year, bro. You haven't made any money. You haven't closed a deal. I know you can do it, but you gotta draw a line in the sand at some point. Like, when are you going to draw the line in the sand and come back to Miami? Because you could be making money in Miami. So there comes a point in the process, in building your dream realities, where the conviction and the vision that you have for your own dreams is not something other people can see. It hasn't materialized yet in a way that gives them confidence in your abilities. And so for you, you see all the internal growth, you see the progress, you see the vision, you see what you're building. They don't see any of that. They see somebody who's off their fucking bonkers, moving across the country with no financial security, and has been out there chasing something for a year that hasn't happened yet. So if you're in a similar situation, there's a chance that at a point your family and friends are going to call you up and say, hey, we love you, but what about that backup plan? So let's get into why they're actually saying that, what it means, and how you should react to it if you're chasing your dream reality. RD2H Road to Happiness, building our dream realities, one life lesson at a time. Let's do it. I've been out here in Los Angeles for officially 1 year trying to build my dream reality. The progress I have made in this last year is so far. I've come so far. Everybody in my circle, within the office, within the senior management, within the people I'm talking to, even my friends, they see that I'm actually onto something. But for my family and friends back home, it's a level of uncertainty that they're just uncomfortable with. And so where I know that I'm making progress, I'm starting to see systems built, I'm starting to see my work come into reality, I'm starting to see ideas that were once just in my head actually manifest into reality. I see that I am on the right path, that I am moving towards my goals. They just see that I am broke, that I am working 12 hours a day, way harder than they're working, and making less money. But for me, it's not even about the money. It's not about the stability. It's not about any of that. It's about building a life that I actually want to live day by day, and starting from scratch, getting ideas that were once in my head and seeing them actually come into reality. It's about chasing a vision that's bigger than myself. And they don't see that vision yet because right now, I'm still building it. And so whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish in your life, whether you want to do anything that's unconventional, whether it's your art that you're pursuing, or maybe it's a music career, or maybe it's like me, a commission-only brokerage field. Maybe you want to build a business, and that takes risk. And the reason why the 1% are the 1% isn't because they're smarter, isn't because they're better, isn't because they're better off. It's because they can handle a level of uncertainty and risk in the beginning phases of growth that a lot of us aren't willing to face. And so many of us, when our family, when our friends start to doubt our paths, we take it as a sign that we aren't on the right one. But it might be just a sign that we're on a different one that they haven't walked before. So one key thing to detail about this is that it's coming from a place of love. It's coming from a place of they care about you. They're seeing you stress about how you're going to pay rent. They're seeing you stress about how you're going to make payroll. They're seeing you work 12 hours a day and not seeing results. They're seeing all of the uncertainty in your life, and they're genuinely worried about you. Because again, they don't see the vision. They don't see the little marginal improvements. They don't see the progress happening internally. They don't see the systems being built. They only see the scoreboard. And when you're building your dream reality, when you're building the life that you want, that scoreboard is 0 for a really, really long time. For years. And so when they're just looking at the scoreboard, they're saying, nah, it's been a year and the scoreboard is still 0. Okay, what are you doing out there? Are you wasting time? But you're not just looking at the scoreboard, you're looking at the little incremental improvements. You're looking at the systems. You're looking at the fact that you're closer than you were 6 months ago. You're looking at there's more clarity than there was 6 months ago because the scoreboard lags. The scoreboard takes a while. The scoreboard is not something to judge a building phase on. You're seeing that the floor plans are built. You're seeing that the foundation is laid. You're seeing the contractors getting ready to start putting the drywalls up, and they're asking, Nat, when are you going to move in? You haven't moved in. It's been a year. And you know that the construction phase of this project is going to take more than a year. You know that that's normal. But it's not anything that they've ever done. So they're genuinely worried for you. They're thinking, what if this doesn't work out? And you're thinking, well, that's never fucking crossed my mind. And so the reality is that you are taking on a level of uncertainty and risk in pursuing your dreams that other people in your life wouldn't be comfortable taking. And it comes to a certain pivotal point where now the level of uncertainty and risk that you're taking in your life is making them uncomfortable, even if they don't have to live it day by day. If you're measuring your life and whether you're on the right path based on other people's tolerance to uncertainty, based on other people's tolerance to risk, then what's the purpose of building your own dream reality if you're going to take other people's inputs? They don't have to walk away from the dream. They don't have to carry the weight of you knowing that you could have done it if you persevered one more year, if you kept going. They don't have to hold that in their lives for the next 40 years. They don't have to carry the consequences of aborting the mission. Your risk tolerance, your uncertainty tolerance, your conviction in the dream and the path that you're taking is not theirs. And you can't measure how much risk they're willing to take to your own journey. Because the simple answer is, they would never be comfortable doing what you're doing. They would never be comfortable walking into the unknown. They would never be comfortable taking so much risk and time and delayed gratification working towards a goal that they don't even know whether or not is going to pan out. That's the difference. That's the entire journey that you're on right now. Taking a path that's less followed automatically means less people are going to understand. Being abnormally dedicated to the vision and goals that you have in life means that you're not normal. And normal people are not going to understand why you're doing what you're doing. And so trying to be exceptional, trying to be abnormally ambitious, trying to build a dream reality from scratch, trying to take the path less followed, and then expecting the majority of people around you to understand that. Kind of ridiculous when you think about it, because the whole point is that you're not doing what everybody else is doing. So obviously most people aren't going to understand why you're doing it. And it's in the middle of this process that it really starts to happen. The beginning is exciting. The beginning, people are like, okay, like, you know, it's a risk, but go try it out. Don't have any regrets. Go out there and do it. And then the middle part comes where it's like, okay, enough time has passed. Is this actually going to work? And if you don't have enough conviction in your dreams to ignore outside noise and to only listen to your own voice saying, I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm building, and I'm not going to quit until I don't have any fight left in me, then you're going to let other people's opinions of how they're viewing your life without living it day to day dictate whether you think you're on the right path. But they don't see the bricks. They don't see the building. They're not there on the construction site. They just see the timeline. So what I'm learning right now is that a majority of people need evidence and validation to keep going, to keep working hard. They need to see that something is working and producing in order to justify the amount of risk and work and effort that they're putting in. But builders, when you're building your own dream reality, when you're building your life, when you're building your career, when you're chasing after something that doesn't exist and trying to bring it into reality, if you're measuring your progress against the scoreboard and you need external validation and you need physical evidence to keep going, then you're going to quit and you're never going to get there. But if you're looking at how systems are being built, if you're looking at marginal improvements, if you're looking at internal growth, if you're looking at the engine being built, then every single step towards your goals, even if it's not visible to anybody but yourself as you're processing and as you're thinking about how you're going to get to that next step, it becomes the scoreboard. It's starting to click. I see how it's going to work. I understand the processes. I understand not only why I'm doing what I'm doing, but how I'm going to get there more clearly than I used to. But they don't see that. They don't understand that. They just see the scoreboard is empty. So you have to make a decision for yourself. Are you going to follow conviction and what you know is true for your life and your path? Or are you going to wait for permission from everybody else? Because the reality is that nobody's going to give you permission. Nobody's going to tell you that it's going to work out 100%. Nobody's even going to 100% be backing you without any doubt until the scoreboard shows them reason to. Because people need proof. People need external results. People need something to justify the fact that the risk is worth the payout. So like I said, my friends are coming from a place of love. They believe in me, I know that, but they're just uncomfortable by the amount of risk that I'm taking on. They're not saying, Natalie, you can't make it. They're not saying, Natalie, give up. They're saying, Natalie, I hope you have a backup plan and that I know you're stubborn and I know that you're going to keep going, but you should realistically try to draw a line in the sand on how much time you're going to give this before you move back home and take a more stable position. And that's fair when I put myself in their shoes. I'm not taking it in a negative way. I'm taking it from a place of love. They care about me. They're worried about me. They see me struggling a little bit and they see me chasing after something that they don't understand, that they don't see, that they would need a little bit more proof for them to chase themselves. But I'm not them. I'm on my own journey. I'm on my own life path and I'm building a dream I actually want to live. In no way is it about the money for me. If I went home to Miami, could I make some extra money? Maybe. Could I build a career? Maybe. But would it be the one that I chose, or would it be the one that I fell back into because I gave up on the one I actually wanted? And the reality is, if I did do that, I'd have to carry the what if question for the rest of my life. And dude, my arms are sore just thinking about carrying that weight. It's not a tab I'm willing to pick up. And if I got to that conclusion by myself, if time went on and the fight continued and I didn't have any fight left in me and I didn't see any options and I lost the belief and conviction in what I'm doing out here in Los Angeles, then yeah, sure, I'd move home. But I'm not going to let other people's perception of my life dictate how I choose to walk in it. And it's funny too, because I'm finally at a point where I'm seeing how I'm going to do it. I'm seeing how what I'm building is laying foundations. I'm seeing the ground floor. I'm seeing the walls go up. I'm seeing the fact that this is no longer just an idea in my head. This is something I'm building day by day. But they don't see that. And it's like when I'm finally getting results, not monetary results, not scoreboard results, but enough results for me to say, okay, something's happening here. We're building something. It's moving along. Is right when everybody in my life back home is starting to say, whoa, it's been a while. Maybe it's time to reconsider whether the path you're pursuing is the right one. Because nobody's going to tell you to quit after month 3. They're going to tell you to keep going. Nobody's going to tell you to quit after month 6. They start telling you to quit after year 1. They start telling you to quit after year 2. And chances are the results that you want don't even compound until year 3, year 4. So if you're listening to the doubt of others, of the risk tolerance of others, are you ever going to get to year 3? Are you ever going to get to year 4? And most people in your life have never seen something built from zero. Okay, they've taken routes that give them a little bit more stability. They've never seen what it looks like to build a life from scratch. They've never seen what it looks like to build a company from absolutely nothing to the ground up. They've never seen the journey that you're on. They've never walked it. So they can't understand why you would keep going after mile 4, mile 5, mile 6, when you could have taken the shorter route. So like I said, you have to view it as a place of love. They're giving you everything that they can give you and supporting you with what they have lived, with the reality that they know. But you're building a reality that is different. You're building your dream. You're building something that is for you, a life that you want to live, a life you're excited about day by day, and not settling for anything less. So you can't listen to the majority of people, because when you take that path less followed, you're no longer the majority. So like I said, if you are trying to chase your dreams, if you are in the middle zone, if you have been pursuing and seeing improvements, okay, because there's a difference between delusion and working your ass off and seeing improvements, seeing how you're closer, seeing the internal growth, seeing the systems being built, seeing the progress, and not having the scoreboard check out yet. If you're in the middle ground and people who used to support you, people who used to be behind you are starting to check in on you and ask you, maybe it's time to rethink this. Maybe the probability isn't in your favor. You have to make the decision for yourself, because at the end of the day, they don't have to carry the regret. They don't have to look in the mirror and know that they walked away when they could have been a month, 2 months, 3 months from a breakthrough. They don't have to live your day-to-day life. So you need to make your decisions when it comes to your dream reality, when it comes to what you're pursuing, when it comes to the path that you're on. What are you willing to live with 40 years from now? Because they don't have to carry the cost of regret. You do. Anyways, so that's today's episode. There comes a part in the journey where not everybody understands it, because not everybody sees the vision you have. Not everybody's building the life that you're building. Not everybody has seen something start from zero, and they don't understand that it takes more time than they're willing to sacrifice. It takes more risk, more uncertainty. You're willing to carry the burden of your purpose further than they would be willing to do, and that makes them uncomfortable. But you can't let other people's uncomfortability dictate your journey. And that's just something that I've picked up in my day-to-day life lately, because I'm feeling it, I'm seeing it, and it's a part of building your dream reality. It's a part of doing something that other people don't do. It's a part of being abnormal. Normal people don't understand you. And no, you're not crazy. You're just taking a different path. So I love you guys. I'll see you for another episode, RD2H Road to Happiness, building our dream realities, one life lesson at a time. Bye.